Deem, how you doing, man? It's been a while. We haven't gotten together
I
and
know,
been
man.
live in
Listen,
since September. It's crazy.
yeah, it's been a while, yo. Listen, it's good to see y'all again, man. Like it's good to talk, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm very excited for this talk.
Yeah, me too,
Very
Yeah.
bro.
excited.
How you doing, Delvon?
Yeah,
Man, besides this sickness, man, I've been doing good. Still on my grind and YouTube and, everything else that I do.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. Just try to take a break tomorrow. You'll be good. Hopefully, you don't got too much plans for tomorrow.
Oh, man. Yeah. I'm going to the movies tomorrow, but other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, that's what's up.
what you
But
going?
yeah.
What you gonna see?
I'm a little late, but I'm going to go see Avatar.
Oh, it was
Okay.
fire. I saw it in 3D.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
I can't go see it in
absolutely
3D because the
fire.
wife don't want me to go see it in 3D. I'm so mad.
Nah, man.
So I had to go again.
So I had recently seen the first one like probably like a month ago because I just wasn't. I'm really weird about like CGI type stuff. Like Marvel and stuff,
Mhm.
that's cool to
hmm
me because it's mostly like real people. But like when they're like whole other like
Yeah.
creatures and stuff being CGI, I'm extremely weird about it. But I definitely regret waiting so long to see it. It's definitely like one of the best movies I've ever seen personally.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, are you talking
man.
about the first one or the second one?
The first one for
First
sure.
one.
The second one was pretty good.
First one.
I didn't like how the second one
Okay.
ended. They kind of left some stuff on the table, but the first one was fire for sure.
Well, the reason why they probably did that is because they're actually making 5 of them, I think, total.
That
So
makes
each of
sense.
them
That
going to
makes
end
sense.
with a Yeah, yeah, and they're all
Yeah.
in production already. He's been doing that for a while. He already announced it already,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's
well,
I,
that
I
probably
seen
why
makes
that
a
they
on
lot of
probably
sense.
Twitter.
did that. Yeah,
Yeah, I seen it on Twitter. He said he's gonna have. Yeah, he said he's gonna have a bunch of them. I don't know how that's gonna plan out, but we'll see.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
before we get
Well, he's supposed to be
started,
dropping one each year. I'm sorry. Go
Okay, that's cool.
oh
ahead.
no, you good, bro. Yeah. So before we get started, I always like to ask what you guys working on. Naseem, we gonna start with you since you're our guest. What you been working on lately? Any reviews coming up soon? You've always been one of the more
Uh,
consistent creators I've seen, always knocking out videos and giving us good.
thank you,
Yeah.
bro.
Go
Thank you,
ahead.
bro. Yeah. So long story short, bro, I'm not gonna lie. Right now, I wanna before the S23 series comes out, I wanna take a look back at the S22 Plus because I feel like that
Okay.
was a very underrated phone, and the S21 FE. But pretty much that's basically what I'm working on right now, and I also have some like sponsorships that I'm like dealing with right now, and yeah, that's pretty much it until the S23 series comes out.
Hey, that's what's up. What you working on right now, Delvon?
Well, I'm currently just working on my Pixel 6 Pro video right now. It's been like well over a year, and I know a lot of people are still picking up this device right now. So I kind of want to give some more coverage for those people who are just getting it and how good, that phone has come for so long. Because that phone launched really, really bad, and Google actually turned it around. So I just kind of want to work on some content for that right now. So that's my general focus at the moment.
I got you. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to creating. Ghost Tech sent me their shades, so that's probably going to be the first thing I review and get going, and then do a follow up on some of the smartwatches that I get. And I'm actually trying to pick up the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro and the Amazfit
Mhm.
GTR 4 really soon. So, yeah,
Nice.
that's what I'm working on right now. Just going to be doing some comparison videos and showing people some good options before the S23 come out. Show them
Mhm.
whether the 4 Classic or the 5 Pro will be the better deal for them right now if they want a
All right.
Yeah.
Samsung watch.
Also, too, me and Galen, we were talking about how like this year we've gotten more into fitness, and I'm not
Uh-huh.
gonna lie, I've mainly been rocking the Pixel Watch, as
Okay.
far as tracking
Uh-huh.
my fitness, tracking sleep tracking all that. I'm not gonna lie, I really out of all every fitness app, I really do
Uh-huh.
like the Fitbit app. The Fitbit app is like the sweet spot for me because it has
Yeah.
everything that I
Mhm.
actually care about, and like
Uh-huh.
it keeps me like motivated to keep going more. If that makes sense, and I can connect it through all my devices.
Yeah, I agree with that. It has been, a interesting journey for me using Fitbit because I was always using Samsung Health. I mean, is it called that? Yeah, Samsung Health
Yeah.
app,
Yeah,
and I crossed over to. I tried to do what's the other one? Not Fitbit. What's Google Fit or whatever their thing is called?
Mhm.
whatever
Mhm.
Google's ones. It is Google Fit, right? I
Yeah,
think
that's
I
right.
don't know.
Google Fit.
Yeah, it's
Anyways,
Yeah.
Google Fit. Yeah.
Google Fit. Okay, I tried that and I was just like, nah, man. Like Fitbit is it's good. I like it, and a lot of that stuff, like you said, is free too. A lot of people like kind of overblown the whole
I
premium thing with
hated
it
that
and
when
stuff
it
like that.
first came out.
Yeah,
Literally every big reviewer complained about the Fitbit app not being free, but literally it
Mm.
handles every single thing you need it to handle for free. Like
Seriously.
the extra
it
stuff is
for
only
free.
for like
Seriously.
hardcore fitness people. So like meal prep, like
Yeah,
tracking your body
Mhm.
weight like
I
every
mean,
day, stuff like that. Like
and yeah,
yeah,
and like your extra sleep analysis if you
yeah,
go
right,
further
yeah.
than that, But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's basically all extra data that you don't need.
yeah, pretty
Mhm.
much, pretty much. Not the average person who just wants to do a regular workout and know their heart rate and stuff, because it does everything that they offer free is the same that Samsung offers, the same that Apple offers, even like Fitbits or even probably Jarman. Everybody offers the same amount of free stuff, but they just added some extra stuff to call it a premium service to try to get you to buy it, pretty much.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, but again, I'm really loving it, bro. I feel like it's helped me a lot as far as like reaching certain goals. Even like the fact that they notify you that whether you've broken like a certain step goal or whatever the case may be, it lets you know how on track you are with different things. And again,
Yeah,
I really like it. I'm really messing with it.
yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah, that's
good.
yeah, yes. I'm always like curious to see like what apps people use like for Wear OS watches because I'm just a smartwatch guy. Thanks
Uh-huh.
for bringing that up, Naseem. I really agree. Fitbit is definitely one of the best apps out there. And
Mm.
then I like Google Fit a lot. I just like how it looks. But Samsung Health has been my favorite personally. Um, just has everything and looks really good. It has a lot of extra features. So yeah, so the
Mm.
first thing that I want to get into, I put out a few tweets last week, and people have been going crazy about it. Um, Mac OS versus Windows, and just the expense, how expensive it can be to build a Windows PC versus the value of the M2 Mac Mini. Personally, I believe there is no way you'll get the quality of 599 in any Windows computer when compared to the M2 Mac Mini. How do you guys feel about that statement? Do you guys agree with that, or do you think
Um.
there are some laptops or Windows PCs that can match up?
Personally, from basically like 'cause my homie he builds PCs as well. A lot of stuff like especially as far as Windows is like third party. So like it kind of can be hard to like find something of that value, with that much power. But that's pretty much like my perspective on it. Well, because again, like Windows is pretty more, they're much more open as far as like collaborating with other brands and stuff like that. But as far as I really do think that Apple changed the game with this M2 Mini.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, especially
Yeah.
at that price. Yeah. How do you feel
Mhm.
about it, Dovan? I know you commented on
Um,
that post as well.
Yeah, I did. My take is that if we're talking about like performance wise for like creators and Windows, and you're looking to buy a machine that's for creating, I don't think that Windows can definitely compete at that price point, starting price point, at least in the Windows category. At least I'm just saying this from a creator's point of view. But if we're talking just like basic web browsing and stuff, of course Windows will have Mac beat any day when it comes to that, because you can just get a cheap Chromebook or you can get a
Mhm.
$200 laptop for all that. But if we're talking beyond browsing and going for sheer power and performance for creators, there's
Mhm.
nothing that that Windows have on the market that can actually match that price and that performance. You would have to spend way more to get that. So I try to I try to bring this up as in two points of view, because there's creators and there's basic people. So when it comes to like creators and then the basic people, there's two different people that's going to be purchasing this. You're going to have creators buying it at $599, which is a really, really good deal. And then you're going to have a basic person who just does web browsing. They don't need that $599. They can find something cheaper to do the exact same thing. So that's pretty much how I feel about it. I
Mhm.
think Apple is definitely leading in that department as far as creators, performance and power and price.
Yeah, just in
Mhm.
terms of performance in general, like Apple does lack in like gaming and everything, but the
Yeah.
M2 is still priced way better than pretty much every other Windows processor out there. AMD
Yeah.
or Intel.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
I agree.
a high end Intel or AMD processor is over $500 by itself.
By
And
itself.
Yeah.
Apple is giving you an M2, which stands up pretty
Mhm.
well in my opinion. Like it may
Hmm.
not be like the top of the end, but it still performs really well, and it's probably even more efficient than anything Windows or AMD is putting out right now.
Correct.
So as far as value, do you guys think that this is the best move that Apple has made in a long time?
Yeah,
I
and
think.
it's so yeah. I was talking to somebody about this. It's so weird to me how they price a Mac Mini so competitively, but literally like every other product, like I feel like the products that they mass sell, so like your iPhones, your AirPods, products like that, they're way more
Hmm.
expensive. Like they don't have good value. They're just like always super expensive.
Expensive.
But things
Yeah,
like
very
the
expensive.
Mac
Very
Mini
expensive.
here that a lot of people don't need, maybe college students, maybe someone who's
Hmm.
working from home, that's all who
Uh-huh.
needs that, and they're pricing that at $599, super competitively against all the other competitors. I just find that
Yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah. I have to say that this is
Also,
probably. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Naseem.
oh no, no, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
All right. I was gonna say that I have to say that this is probably Apple's best pricing for anything that they ever sold. To be honest with you, the sheer value that you
Honestly,
get out of the M2 at $599
Hmm.
is like they're giving it away to us right now. And like
Hmm.
Dana said, everything else that they price, it's like it shouldn't be so high, but it is for some weird reason. Apple tax. That's the
Yeah.
rumor that the saying that we're saying is Apple tax. It's like it
Yeah.
took this headset should cost $80, but we're just going to charge you $149. Or this MacBook should be let's say $1,200, but we're going to start it at $1,700. So that's just
yeah,
how
right,
Apple is, with their
yeah,
taxes.
Hmm.
yeah. Go ahead, Nasim.
Also too, in my personal opinion, I really do think that with the pricing of this M2 Mac Mini, I think that it might like take away many sales from the regular Mac,
Hmm.
because you can
Mm,
get this for a pretty good price, and then you can get a little cheap monitor, and you'll be fine.
right.
What do you
Yeah.
guys think?
Um. Go ahead.
I 100% agree with that. Michael Pepper Tech just made a comment about like his MacBook Air. Like even those are definitely the best priced laptops out there by far in terms of price to performance. But yeah, in terms of it taking sales from like the Mac Studio and things like that,
Hmm.
I definitely agree. Yeah, I definitely agree. Because honestly, all you need is M2 with 16 gigs of RAM, and you're set.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah,
most of
seriously.
the super intensive tasks on a computer isn't really compatible with uh, Mac OS anyway. So like those people that do
Hmm.
like those rendering type things, can't
Hmm.
think of the profession right now. Those people that do drafting and stuff on their computer, those are all Windows
Hmm.
people. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
yeah,
And I wanna agree with Naseem when he said that you could just go out here and buy this and buy a screen and everything, because that's exactly what I did when Apple released the M1 series. I decided to go try the M1 Mac. I went to try one, and the cheapest one that I can actually get to try was a Mac Mini. It was literally
Hmm.
cheap. I walked into the store and I told them, "Give me that base model M1," and they gave it to me. And then I went into the. Now I think I spent almost more. I mean, I ain't gonna say I did, but I spent closer to what the M1 was on my monitor itself. So,
right.
but but I could have been somebody who wanted a cheap monitor and probably
Hmm.
$100 monitor and came out with like what, a $700 computer set or whatever. But I ended up spending
Hmm.
almost $500 on my monitor, this almost the same price as my Mac One Mini. But that's only because I'm a photographer and I needed color accuracy and I wanted 4K and different things, so I had to make sure I get a good monitor. But the average
Hmm.
person, if they was buying this at $599 and they're going out here buying $100 monitor and a cheap keyboard at that, they will really get a good deal. But I still think even if you went out there and bought it at $599 and then bought a $500 monitor, I still think that's a really good deal
Yep.
buying it at a
I was
thousand
still I was
dollars.
gonna say that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's better than the MacBooks. It's better than the iPad. It's better than anything that they sell. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
better.
Bro. It's basically the equivalent to building your own PC versus
Mhm.
buying a already put together PC. Like you're gonna get much more value out of building your PC as opposed to
Yeah,
buying one that's already they already set it up for you.
absolutely.
You know
Yeah,
how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
So it's
yeah,
absolutely.
basically the equivalent. And I feel like it's also giving a chance for like, college students or, people like,
Mhm.
I think Jordan,
yeah,
he said
exactly.
he got, yeah, he said it's perfect for people like me, like people who you don't need to spend over $1,000 to get something quality that you can create content with, or, you can browse the internet with. And also
Mhm.
you can get that really good, some people do want the Apple experience. So I really think this is a great start for them.
It is.
Yeah, yeah. I want to
Yeah.
hit Michael Pepper Tech's comment. It's
All
always
right.
I'm telling you, it's always good to have Michael Pepper Tech like in the comments. He is one of the most analytical people that you'll ever meet.
Yeah,
Shout out Michael Pepper for sure. We're gonna get him on an episode,
shout out to Mike.
for sure. But he said it's weird that a whole computer is $599. This is an Apple computer and an iPad Pro
Mhm.
with the same chip is $300 more. That's what I'm like. I don't understand their pricing structure at all. Like, what is
I
that?
agree. I agree. And maybe Apple's trying to bounce back. Maybe I don't know, man. Like maybe the next iPads
Mhm.
might be cheaper. Who knows? I mean, I'm not going to believe that, but just throwing out a maybe because what Mike said is true. Like think about this: you got $1,000 in your pocket, and you have to go in there and buy something that's going to be for like school or computing, just computing, right? And then they tell
Mhm.
you that you have a whole computer for $599 right here that could do this and that to the third. And then they say you got an iPad right here that could do this and can't do this and that to the third, right? And you're gonna make a
Yeah.
decision like, why would I get that if it can't do this and do that, but this over here can do all of that? Like, let me get
Mhm.
that, save money. And despite of how we may feel, some of us may feel the Mac Mini is way better than the iPad in every way besides portability. That's it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like everything better besides the portability to be able to walk around and watch movies or edit some photos and all that stuff like that. But the Mac
Hmm.
Mini will kill it in every category of that besides the portability.
Mhm.
And probably if you want to say apps, I guess if you really just want apps, right?
Hmm.
But a lot
Yeah.
of the apps now have website versions and stuff like that today. So it's really the best value that, like I say again, bro, it's the best
And
value
remember,
Apple has
like we
ever done.
yeah, and
No,
remember,
hundred
like we brought
percent.
up last week, apps are pretty much cross compatible now with the M series chips. You could
Pretty
get
much.
Mhm.
those iPad apps on your desktop, but you can't do that the reverse way. You
Hmm.
can't get the desktop apps on your iPad for the most part, unless you're
Yeah.
using DaVinci. Then you can.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Pretty
like
much.
at this point, man, the iPad is like, besides being like an entertainment device, man, it's kind of damn near the ultimate liability as far as the Apple ecosystem.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
100%.
So, just in terms of functionality, how do you guys feel about Windows versus Mac? I know Delvon daily drives both. I think Naseem is on Mac OS, right? Is that just a preference thing, or
Yeah. Also too,
Oh,
I think I believe 5 to 6 months ago, I got my first gaming PC. So I have been
okay?
using Windows a little bit, but honestly, in my personal experience, Windows is very clean. Like it's very clean.
Yeah, especially
Um,
now. Yeah,
yeah, and honestly, I think when it comes down to, because I can say both of them are clean, but it's
hmm
really all based on personal preference and like what you prefer to use. I think, because say if you're on like, say if I was using a different editing software, to edit my videos, I'm more than likely would be on Windows. If I, or if I'm using Final Cut, I'm more than likely on Mac. So I think it's really just based on that personally. It's based on me as a content creator. But both of
yeah,
them are clean. Both of them are very
yeah,
clean. I like both of them. Yeah.
yeah. As a person who's been using, pretty much Windows all my life first, and then switched to Mac, and then back to Windows, and then I've been living with both forever now at this point. And despite of how people say Windows is terrible, it has never really been terrible. I think that for most people, well, okay, let me put it like this: I've always bought Windows machines from Microsoft, always been first party. If I didn't buy it for them, I had a custom built one. And that was it. I never really bought for third party. So I'm just assuming that a lot of these bad experiences that the people get are pretty much from the third parties making Windows. It's
yeah,
kind of like how it's kind of like Android situation with Android coming
Mm,
from Google is going to be better on Google phone, and Windows will be better on Surface devices because that's what I always bought all my life pretty much. And my
mm,
experience has always been good with Windows. I never really had a problem. I didn't like Windows 8 though. I will admit that, like everyone else, that junk was trash. And Windows 11 now is pretty, like Naseem said, it's clean, it's smooth. I never had any problems. It's always going to be a need for Windows in my life because I'm an Android person, and it just doesn't play nice with Mac, and I'm always going to have to
mm.
keep one around for that. But um, as Windows is good. I mean, like you said, it comes down to preference. That's really
Yeah,
what it is, man. It's preference.
yeah. Because in all
Um,
jokes aside, like they both were just very clean. Like I'm
Yeah.
again like every time I'm gaming every day now, and
Hmm.
I'll have no problem. And I'll check scores. I'll check scores on sports and all that on my Windows computer and all that. But it really gave me the exact same amount of precise smoothness, sleekness that
Same,
yeah,
that Apple and
same.
macOS gave me.
yeah,
I'm telling you, the only experience difference between Mac OS and Windows that I've been having is forgetting that the X's is on the opposite side on the two of them, and and that because Mac put it on that side and Windows put it on that side, and it's just like, oh gosh. But I will say that Mac OS is a lot cleaner. I like the look
hmm
of it,
Mhm.
but I do like the function of Windows 10 times more than Mac OS. Mac OS is
that's exactly how I feel
it,
about it.
yeah, macOS is
Mhm.
complicated for the normal person unless they actually use macOS all their life. So anybody who's been using macOS all their life will say it's easy, obviously, right? But
Mhm.
when I let my mom use it or somebody who's been using Windows, it's going to be so confusing because, like again, even the exit, the exit your browsers and all stuff like that is on the opposite side. So, and then the X don't even mean exit; it just means like minimize. So, but then there's
Right.
also a minimize button as well. So it's kind of weird. So yeah,
Yeah.
like I say, it's complicated depending on who
There's
you're talking
definitely
to.
a learning curve for sure.
Oh yeah.
Um, when you're like switching from Mac OS to Windows and vice versa. I want to touch on a comment you made, like comparing Windows to Android.
Mhm.
Basically, Delvon, it just made me think. There are so many people who like associate like Windows with being like really bad, just the same
Mhm.
way that people do with Android, because
Mhm.
they probably the experience they had with a Windows or Android was probably a low end Windows or Android phone. Apple only
Always.
sells high end things.
Yes.
So
Seriously.
uh yeah, right. So that it just made me think of that. There, like, if you had a bad experience with the Windows or Android device, it most likely wasn't the best that that company had to offer.
Mhm.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's all I want to say.
And I think that's what happens in the Android. I think that our reputation for Android had grew over the years because of that. Most people who tell me that they got an iPhone and they had an Android, I asked them what Android they had, and they literally name an Android that I probably never even heard of. They'd be like, it was called Kakarot. I'm like, what the hell is that? You know, and then I mean, and it makes you
Kyocera.
wonder. Yeah, Kyocera or something. Seriously, but that's the Android device that they come from, and then they go out here and buy any iPhone, right? Because you could buy any iPhone as a premium device because Apple only
Mhm.
tackles the premium market. And then from that point, their experience of all Androids is like bad cameras, bad battery, bad this, bad that. And I can't
Mhm.
argue with that because I'm sorry that you went out here and bought a $196 Android phone, but then turn around and buy $800 iPhone and then expect that the experience is going to be exactly the same. And that's a
Mhm.
lot of people, and I think over the years that just kept going on and on, so
It
therefore
just
we had
becomes
that
a
bad
stereotype.
reputation.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing with Windows. People will buy a laptop because the price of it said $200, and
Hmm.
to them it's a laptop, and it's supposed to be a laptop, and it's supposed to do this, but it's slow. The internet's slow, and you ran out of memory, and you don't know what you really bought. You just bought it because it's a laptop and you need it for school, but you didn't
Yeah.
do you
Yeah.
didn't, but then you're hearing people talking about Macs again. Macs, right? You cannot find a cheap Mac anywhere. I mean, you could buy a
Mhm.
old Mac now for cheap, but you can't find like a cheap built Mac because they make premium laptops. So if you're
Hmm.
Yeah.
buying into them, you're buying a premium device,
Mhm.
and you're automatically going to have a better experience. So that's why I told you I always bought like premium laptops and premium desktops or built them, and always been in that that category. So I never had a bad experience with Windows. I don't relate to anybody who's saying Windows is bad because I never bought a cheap Windows laptop. My wife had one and I was using hers trying to troubleshoot it. Bro, I was like, I'm buying you another one. Like I couldn't even do
Right
that,
off the
man.
bat. Yep.
But she
Yeah.
was perfectly happy with it because she can get on Walmart.com or whatever website she wanted to go to, bro. Like it's
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we definitely need to start checking people as far as like, okay, they'll. I feel like some people are blindly bashing things, of course, but we need to check them on like, listen, what model do you have? How
Hmm.
much did you pay for it? And because I feel like
Right.
I feel like
That's
I feel like
important.
because
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, we really have to start checking people on that because I feel like people are just harder critics on stuff that they're not familiar with or stuff that
Keep
they
this up.
100%.
think
Keep this up real
or stuff
quick.
that they think it, but.
No, go ahead.
But no,
Keep talking. I said keep this up
yeah.
real quick.
Oh yeah, no, my fault. But or like they're just hard critics on stuff that they think like okay, like
Hmm.
say if you're someone who thinks like okay or Galaxy's the best, then Pixel
Hmm.
comes along and they kind of have this complex that like okay, like nothing is better than what I'm using, and I feel like
Yeah.
they're just harder critics on it. So then they'll go bash the company. But again, we have to just speak. We have to like ask them like, okay, what model did you use? What was your exact experience? Are other people
Hmm.
having these experiences? Because a lot of times, like people will just say, okay, like people will have they might have a bad model, but then they'll
Yeah.
go and say that this is everyone else's problem when it's not the case at all.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's the thing that happens a lot, at least in the Android world. But admittedly, when people talk about their iPhone issues, it's okay. It's passive. It's okay. And I really want to tackle this right here because this is a prime example of what we'd be talking about. So he said that he bought an expensive Pixel or whatever like that, and there was hundreds of people, thousands of people who bought a Pixel, and there was hundreds of thousands of people who also I don't want to say thousands because I don't know the numbers, but at least on my Twitter account, I see a lot of people say they have problems with their Pixel. And then he goes back to say that he had no problems with his iPhone. And either, I'm not saying this man is a liar. I'm not saying that. And because I would never, I'm not, who am I to judge somebody, right? But I bought iPhones, I bought Pixels, I bought laptops, I bought Macs, I bought everything. I had problems with everything that I ever bought at some point. At some point,
Right.
software will get broken, it will get messed up, something will glitch out, something will happen. And that's my honest truth about all tech. Could he have bought a bad Pixel unit? Of course. There's a lot of people out there probably running around with bad Pixels. Have you always got better luck with iPhones? Of course he could have, and that's true because in my experience of most devices, I have good luck with them. A lot of the issues that I never had on my iPhones or my iPads or my Pixels or my Samsung phones. A lot of people had some really, really bad issues. And I never experienced those issues, but I have had issues on those. So I'm not like writing this man off or anybody off who has any problems. But, you know, sometimes it's just like, are you just saying that because you just want to say that and think that, it's the masses? Because while he has a bad Pixel, Naseem and I are both having a Pixel right now. That's the best experience that we ever had, probably on the phone.
Yeah, and
So
it goes case by case because I've honestly seen more people complaining about iOS 16 than I have about the Pixel 7 Pro
I
software.
have,
I've
Yeah, me
seen
too.
a lot of people with the 6 Pro. The 6 Pro was a mess at launch, but the 7 Pro I have
Mhm.
not seen as many software issues as I have with people in iOS 16. I've seen iOS loyalists
mhm.
like bashing iOS 16. So again, it's just a case by case basis, really.
It is,
Yeah.
and I'm glad you mentioned that because last year, I'm gonna make this short too. Last year, the 6 series was like the headline of everything last year, and it was bad. And this year, it's Apple, believe it or not. And I'm not even
Mhm.
like trying to like sway that way. This is what I'm seeing down my timeline. Everyone is complaining about, and it's not even the 13; it's the 14 series. Like all
Mhm.
the issues and
Mhm.
bugs that they're having is with the 14 series and not really the 13 series this year. And Samsung again is just skiing by without issues again, like 2 years in a row
Mhm.
now. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's people who's been posting about it, but for the most part, Samsung seems to have the better stable software 2 years in a row right now. And I would say
Mhm.
that maybe this year Pixel is probably right behind them right now, but Apple right now is probably in third place, at least from if I'm going by like the status on my Twitter feed of what I'm seeing from the iPhone users, because everyone's complaining about that 14. like literally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
No. Yeah.
it's really
Seriously.
interesting to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, too. I wonder if is it a software issue? Because uh, again, I went back to the 12 Pro because I felt like as
Mhm.
far as like 'cause I shoot, of course, for people who don't know, I
Mhm.
shoot videos with my iPhone and all that. But the 12 Pro is like the only camera, like iPhone camera, where it's like I have no issues. No matter how much I
Mhm.
zoom in on something, everything goes
Mhm.
perfectly. But like with my 14 Pro Max, it was like I'm shooting like the side of the phone, and it's like completely blurry. It can't focus. So it's like, is that a software issue? Like I was very confused at that.
I think to be
It
honest with you,
is.
man,
It's 100% software.
yeah, a lot of these issues that people are having, hit or miss, is software. It's literally software for
Mm,
all these companies, Google, Samsung, Apple. And I think that, like I told Galen before, I think it's just they're still bouncing back from COVID, the recovery period. You know, they're still trying to get their coding together, and all these companies are. And I think that for the most part, a lot of them got a lot of it together, but devices are still slipping through, and people are still having issues with them. And yeah, like Big Dog said, the S21 had focusing issues. I actually had that on my S21U. But if you think about the overall package of the issues that Samsung had, it wasn't that many compared to what's going on with Google with the Pixel 6 series and what's going on with Apple with the 14 series right now. So people are going to have their issues, and there's no escaping that.
mm.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, software will be
Also,
software. It's always going to be something at launch with any major software um, implementation.
also, Big Dog too. I want him to try to like, try to like have like a POV shot of one of your other phones, and I want to know if like, am I the only one getting this issue?
Yeah,
I'm responding to Big Dog. My bad.
Yeah. Oh, no, you good, you
very
good.
good.
Yeah, yeah. Because I want to know, like, am I the only one having this issue? Because again, like, whenever I like, say a company's having like, or a phone that I'm experiencing is having a problem, I don't want to say that
Mhm.
like, oh, like the 14 Pro period. Even though that a lot of times it is the case because people on Twitter,
Mhm.
are explaining their issues.
Yeah, I do hate I ain't gonna say I hate people that's like that. I just hate when people do that when they're having problems with their phone. It has to be magically everyone else's for some weird reason.
Yeah.
I feel you on that. I had posted an issue on my iPad, my 2018 iPad last night. Out of nowhere, I was in Netflix and I left out of the app, and then I tried to go back to the app, and then like the menus, every time I touched the app, a menu came up, like the force touch menu. It just kept coming up. And then I was like, what's going on? So then I touched another app, and it was doing it with every app on the iPad. And I was just like, what the hell is going on with my iPad right now? And I turned the screen off and turned it back on, still doing it. And I was just like, yo, this is crazy. So I recorded myself before I tried to fix it, which restarted the iPad. That's what I did. I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
sometimes restarting is the best fix, right? So before
Mm.
I recorded it and I put it up, and I wanted to share it because maybe somebody else was having this issue, and lo and behold, somebody else was having this issue, and it's an issue I never had, and I purposely did not update my iPad to none of the. I think I'm still on 6.1 right now, software on my iPad. I think my iPhone is still on 6.1. I think my Mac is on. I'm gonna tell you right now, all my iOS stuff right now currently are on the old version right now, and I only kept on one of the old versions because I haven't had any issues with those versions, right? So I didn't want to update them and have issues. And I'm like one of those people because
yeah,
today it just seemed like nobody is getting software right. It's so hit and miss, and I don't want to be one of those people walking around with a nice phone, perfect, and then I update it and then it's fucked up. So I try my best to just hold out on these updates, and I'm talking about everybody at this point. At first, I was holding out on. At first, I used to update my pixels right away, but I'm like, nah. After this update that just happened with the Pixel, I'm like, nah. So I'm just gonna hang back.
yeah. Michael
Yeah.
Pepper wanted to know if you knew if it was.
It was 6.1. 6.1, Mike. I didn't update the 2 or the 3.
That's what's up.
Said no.
So now I think it's about that time we hop into the other topic of conversation we had, which was Samsung Unpacked.
Mm.
That's gonna be next week. It's on the first, right? Samsung Unpacked
Ye-
is on the first.
Is it
Yeah.
the
First.
first? Okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, yeah. That's what I said.
Um,
Yeah. First.
So yeah, lots of new devices should be coming out. Is there anything that you got, any leaks or anything that you guys have seen that you're interested in? Are you guys both interested in the S23? I just want to hear your thoughts, and I'll give mine as well.
I heard about the 200 megapixel camera, and
Mhm.
I'm excited for it. I just want to know all right, because my problems with the S22 series was the shutter lag. Like I had some problems with them, and also too like my selfies, because my selfies were like, compared to the
Okay.
Pixel and iPhone, they were. But I honestly, I really just want them, like with that, with the S23 series. I just want them to adjust those problems, because overall, also the battery too. But overall, like they've been pretty solid phones.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Which are there any devices that you're excited about that have been leaked, Delvon, for the Unpacked event?
I'm not really the S20, not really the S line, but I am curious about the battery of it. I don't really care about battery life on these devices because I don't have bad battery on anything that I own, really, because it's just everyone use their devices different. So I don't
Mhm.
like, if y'all notice in my reviews and my videos, I barely even touch on battery because it's a
Mm,
non-factor to me. Every device I ever buy. But I am curious because I did see something that said the S23U is supposed to have like better battery than the ROG phone and the iPhone 14 Plus. And if it is right, I'm not gonna be sitting here like trying to dick swing about it or anything like that. It's just that
mm,
it makes me happy that people are making advancements in the battery department,
Exactly.
because
Yep.
mm,
if Apple has the best and somebody topped them, that means Apple's going to have to top that. Then that means Google's going to have to step up. That means everyone's going to have to step up,
mm-hmm.
right? And that's what I'm happy about. If people can climb over whoever has the best and they just keep doing that, because in the end it's going to benefit us. And I like that.
Yeah,
So I'm hoping that Gen 2 is what the rumors are saying about it. Again, it's not about who has the better battery, because I know a lot of people are going to love saying that, especially hardcore Samsung users. But they should look at the bigger picture of the advancement
mm,
that we're making with these batteries than overall saying that your phone battery is the best. Because
I think it's gonna be like
um,
more of the process. I think it's more of the processor handling that than the actual battery. They're
mhm,
saying that the 8 Gen 2 is a lot more efficient than what the 8 Gen 1 was. So that's why
mm,
yeah,
people are expecting the battery life to be significantly better
yeah,
than the
mm.
and
S22.
then other than that, I'm excited about their Ultrabook that's coming. I definitely want to give that a go. So
Man,
that's yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited about as well. The Ultrabook leaks, because I have
yeah,
the Galaxy Book 2 Pro 360, which is their high end laptop from everywhere. I mean
Mm,
from last year. Um, but yeah, they're gonna do the Galaxy Book 3, Galaxy Book 3 Pro, 3 Pro 360, and then the Galaxy Book Ultra 3. And
yeah,
the
mm,
Galaxy Book Ultra is supposed to be, I think, the only one with a dedicated graphics card in it.
oh,
So that's
yeah,
that's
mm,
a big deal to me, because the issues that I'm having with this laptop are due to the lack of graphic card and just the bad
uh-huh,
performance and all that. So yeah, I'm really
mm,
excited to see what they do with that Book 3 Ultra. So I'm
uh-huh,
gonna pull up this article about the Galaxy event. And here are just some supposed leaks. Of course, we already said the S23 Ultra, and we talked about how it's going to have the 200 megapixel camera. Um,
mm.
you'll get 8K at 30 frames per second. I don't know who's using 8K. Have you guys ever used 8K on your
I
Galaxy
No.
phones?
I have, just to try it, but I look, man, look, I'm weird, man. Call me weird, but I shoot 1080 on all my phones. I don't shoot 4K on any of my devices, even my iPhone.
How come?
I'm I noticed that when I shoot 4K on a lot of these phones and I'm trying to share this stuff to people or
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
drop it in the editing program, I be having so many issues, man. Like this whole
mm,
HDR, like especially when I drop stuff on the Final Cut, you got to convert stuff to like HDR or something like that. That is annoying because it really messes up my footage sometimes, and I just start just saying F it and just start shooting everything in 1080 and 60 frames or something like that, and just call it a day. Because most
mm.
likely, if I'm doing anything on my iPhone, it's not for professional work. It's just for like, here, check this out. Like I'm
Yeah.
literally sharing it like a regular consumer.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need to be sending somebody some super large files for no reason. It just Like
Yeah, no,
I don't
100%.
yeah, I just what you do with your iPhone and your YouTube videos is incredible, but it can't be me, bro. So kudos to you for sure. 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like
He
I'm
said,
Yeah,
I'm too much into that whole quality thing, and not saying that your quality bad, right? Because I'm not saying that. I just
mm,
want the best. You know what I'm saying? So I get a camera and I pull out that 4K 30 or 4K 60 if I need be or whatever, and I'm shooting at high bits, and I just try to make mine look a certain way, and it's not really
mm,
because of the iPhone camera quality is bad to me. It's just that I don't have that control over the lighting when I use a phone like I do a camera.
that's
And,
understandable. Yeah,
and that's the only
yeah,
thing. And when you do try to use the phone and control that lighting, you have to go so far out of your reach to get
yeah, no,
that,
100%.
to
Yeah.
get that look. Because you can achieve it. Don't
So,
get me wrong.
yeah.
so would you ever try to shoot like with the the Galaxy S22, like 22 or 23 Ultra Pro mode?
I did try with pro mode on the Galaxy phone. I shot some clips, and I actually done it with the iPhone too, using Filmic Pro, I believe I had. Because
Mm,
just like you, I started my YouTube channel with the iPhone. It was the iPhone 11 Pro, 11 and then 11 Pro. And I started my
mm.
YouTube channel with it, and I loved it. It's so convenient using the phone, but every time I went to go edit the footage and put everything together, I just was like, I go look at somebody else's YouTube channel, like MKBHD, and I just be like, oh my god, I got to get a camera. So
Yeah,
I feel like I wanted to be like the big dogs, man. So I got discouraged real
Yeah,
easy and quick.
yeah.
So
It takes a photographer's eye to see these types of
it,
things too.
it
Um,
does.
yeah,
Delvon is not calling anyone's quality trash because you use your
No,
phone. He just
oh
has
no,
a different eye than most other people have. I just want to make that clear to our
yeah.
yeah,
listeners
He got
right
that
now.
advanced eye.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. I
He got
definitely ain't down to nobody because
his eye has AI.
I would tell anybody,
But
man,
not,
if you don't got a camera, use your phone to start your YouTube channel. I would tell
That's true.
anybody. I
Yeah.
don't care what phone you got. Just make sure you got good lighting, because I don't care if you got an iPhone. I don't care if you got a Samsung phone or a Pixel phone. Lighting still matters regardless, because even a
yes,
professional camera needs lighting. So don't even think that $1,000 or $1,200 phone is going to outdo a pro camera. You know what I'm saying, in
Right.
lighting or whatever like that, just because it's an iPhone. Stuff like that. So yeah, that's all I'm saying.
So yeah, it doesn't look like it's a lot of changes to the S23 and S23 Plus, except for the design. It looks a lot more simple in my opinion. It looks very
Mhm.
mm,
iPhone-ish, like almost. And
yeah,
flat display is always a plus in my opinion. I
Thank
really
God.
hope they, yeah, I really hope the Ultra has a
100%.
flat display next year.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wonder if they're
same
going with
cameras and everything.
Good job, big dog. He just like me, bro. That 1080p gang right there.
I
Yeah, go
wonder,
ahead, Naseem.
like, yeah, I wonder if Samsung with the the regular S23 and S23 Plus. I think with those, like, the reason that they look exactly the same is because I think they're just trying to get like that signature look, like, okay, this is a Samsung phone down, if that makes sense. Like, I
Yeah,
feel like they want
yeah,
to, okay, like, it's like a
A signature
familiarity.
look.
Yeah, like a signature look, like, okay,
Mhm.
this is what you're gonna get. This is like what you're familiar with.
yeah,
Because I read somewhere that a lot of companies do that. That's the reason why they don't change as much with their phones anymore as far as the looks, because they want you to be familiar. Okay, that's a Pixel. Okay, that's a
Yeah.
Samsung. Okay, that's an iPhone.
And I think that's why Apple has done it for so long. And don't get me wrong, I hated that they do it for too long, but I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people can
right,
easily
yeah,
recognize the iPhone instantly because of that. But look, bro, I am sick of the boring, same boring design. I'm gonna be honest with you. They do keep it a little bit too long. I think like maybe 2 or 3 years. After 3 years, I think it's time for like a refresh and something like that. But
mhm,
I get it though. And I'm glad that Google and Samsung are actually jumping on that bandwagon. And I really hope one day the refresh cycle for these phones be 2 years instead of one. Because I feel like if
Mm,
they put more effort into 2 years of software and everything else, then we'll probably have almost a near perfect phone with all these phones probably. But yeah, I do like that they keep the same design. So Samsung is on it, and I hope that they pull it one more year after this, and then after that they give us something different. So I'm
mm,
cool with it.
yeah, yeah. I hope so. So yeah, next picked up is the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra we were talking about earlier. One thing I
Hmm.
saw is not mentioned in this article, but all of the Samsung laptops this generation, the Book 3 generation, all of them will have 120 hertz screens. And I think only the
Mm,
high end ones without OLED. So I think that's like a real game changer, in my opinion.
Yeah,
120 hertz plus the smooth animations in Windows 11. That's going to be crazy on a laptop for sure.
it is. I'm actually
100%.
And then,
excited for that.
yeah, me too, bro. Me too. I hope the Ultra is touchscreen too. That would make it even. That'll make it even better for real. I know the Book 3 Pro 360 or whatever it's gonna call is gonna be touchscreen, but I hope they do that with the Ultra as well. I haven't
Yeah.
seen a lot of
Mm,
news on the tablets or
Hmm.
buds,
yeah,
honestly. Haven't seen any leaks on either of those, so I don't even know if those will be announced at Samsung
yeah.
Unpacked next week. What do you guys
I
think
don't
about
think
that?
I don't think they
Uh,
are. I think they might refresh a midway around the time that the Pixel tablet might launch or whatever to compete with it. I'm going to
Okay,
yeah,
assume. Yeah.
yeah.
that makes
Also,
sense.
too,
Yeah.
how do you guys think they can improve on the Galaxy tablets? Because I'm not gonna lie, in my personal opinion, I think they've
Mhm.
damn near perfected it. Like as far as the
Um
user experience,
I agree 100% from what I've seen so
you,
far. I'm looking to
like
get my first one.
I think
features,
I
user
think
experience.
yeah, I think the only thing left for them to do with the Galaxy tablet is efficiency and probably like performance wise. I mean that's always going to be a thing, right? Every year we want more and more and more. I think that's what I mean because the user experience, UI, and the functionality, they nailed it, and I can't think of anything more that they can do to it. But as
Mhm.
far as like performance wise, I feel like that should just be their main focus. One thing I can say about my iPad is that I got a 2018 iPad and it doesn't feel like a 2018 iPad.
At all,
Mm,
right?
Except, yeah, the only thing that reminds me of it is when I try to use certain apps that just kind of like outdated for like DaVinci. DaVinci is not
mm,
that great on the 2018 iPad, at least
Because of M1.
4K footage. Yeah, at
Yeah.
least with 4K footage that I've been using. And normally when I talk about performance, I'm talking about 4K because I can't say 1080p. Of course, 1080p that iPad will blow right through it. But yeah,
yeah.
DaVinci is limited because of the it's not an M1. But other than that, the iPad feels great. And my Galaxy tablet right now is starting to show some age to it a little bit. Sometimes I get jitters here and there, but overall, has it broken my experience? No, it's still. I'm shocked that it's still this smooth after this long because
Hmm.
Samsung stuff normally buckles up after a year.
I got you.
So kudos to them.
Uh, I got you. I want to ask Naseem a question. So I know
Yeah.
you've had experience with both iPad OS and the Galaxy tablets. Is there something that that's missing from either one that you want to see in the other?
In all honesty, I would say something that's missing within the iPad is I really like Samsung Dex on the on the tablet on a Samsung tablet, like
Yeah.
because I feel like Samsung has has bridged the gap between as far as a tablet and a laptop. I feel like
Mhm.
they've bridged the gap even better than Apple has. So like
Okay.
and it's really not even just with them. I feel like the next step for tablets period is to have an easier bridge the gap because I feel like a lot of college students or anyone who isn't really committed on a laptop, I feel like they really appreciate tablets in general. So I feel
That
like
makes
as far as like again as far as Samsung, I don't think they're really missing anything. I feel like they've done everything pretty much good. But again, I feel like Apple, with the iPad, I feel like they can bridge the gap even better.
I got you.
Yeah.
I know Delvon is a huge tablet person. Is there anything in iPad OS that you want to see in Galaxy tablets or vice versa?
I mean, to be honest with you, yeah, I am definitely a tablet person. I'm probably gonna buy every tablet this year. Um, but but I would say that I'm with Naseem on that. I think that Samsung pretty much kind of like nailed the experience. If you want a tablet, and then if you want a work machine, you got it all right there. On the iPad, it definitely needs some work. I think Stage Manager needs work. It's not nowhere near touching Dex. It's not even a desktop version on the iPad. It's just some weird way to use your iPad. as far at least in my usage. And I I don't know, man. Other than that, I think I just think that there's no Dex alternative for it. You know what I'm saying, for school people.
Hmm.
So I think that's what's really missing the iPad. Everything else I can say pretty much functions pretty good. I don't really have a problem with anything else. Yeah. So,
Yeah. Like
but
I feel like yeah.
I'm sorry. I did want to bring this up though. For the Lord, for let me not say Lord, for wah, 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 wah. They need to fix that file system. That's one thing they need to fix
That's
right there. That is,
oh, I
their
didn't even
file
think about
system
that. That's a big
is
deal.
terrible. The way Samsung's work is just like, it works like the same way on your
On the
computer, your
computer,
PC,
yeah.
your Mac, or your laptop. But Apple's is so stupid. And I'm gonna sit there and honestly say it's stupid, and they really need to change it. I don't care how anybody feel about it. If they don't feel the same way I feel, I don't care. It's stupid, and it's always gonna be stupid until they
Mhm.
change it, because it shouldn't be that stupid. I even hear people tell me in the comments a lot, like, yo, I love my iPad, I love editing on it, but I hate the file system. I hate how it handles files. I do too. I agree with everyone who says that. So that
Yeah, that's true, bro. Um, so yeah, just in general, what are you looking forward to in 2023, in regards to tech, Naseem?
uh, Honestly, I would say the Pixel 8 Pro. I honestly want to see like where they would go from here. I want to see
Mhm.
like what improvements they can make, because in my honest opinion, I really do feel like the 7 Pro has got it already. Like they've pretty much done everything that I've needed them to do. So I'm actually very, and I think that's one thing Google does like really well. They kind of keep you guessing. But
Yeah,
I really want to see like what improvements they could make, because I think that their decision making is pretty crucial this year, because people might either say, okay, this is just like the 7 Pro, there's no changes, nothing, or they could make a major change, and I think it'll change the whole game.
I
So
got you.
yeah,
I'm really excited on like, because in my honest opinion, I really think that like it's like what Google's doing is the most interesting thing that we've seen in tech in a minute, because they're like
I
we're
agree.
literally because in my opinion, I think we're literally witnessing a company that's just, they're like really like putting pressure on these other companies. Like okay, Samsung has been, they're already certified. Apple's already certified. Google's trying to make a name for themselves in the smartphone community. They're trying to, get their brand out there. Okay, we make smartphones too. We make
mm-hmm.
watches now. We make tablets now. They're really trying to make a name for themselves. So I feel like
Hmm.
with it, the upcoming years, they have the most to prove, and I feel like they're going to make a lot of good decisions, because everything we've asked of them, they've pretty much addressed and fixed.
That's fair.
As
Yeah,
far as bugs, we wanted a watch. They're giving us a watch. Well, they gave us a watch. We wanted a tablet. They're giving us a tablet. I feel like Google, they're really just trying to like, they have a lot to prove. They have a chip on their shoulder.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, for
I
sure.
wanna I wanna piggyback off that. You absolutely right, man. If I had to say there's one product or one company right now that I'm really interested in their innovation, is Google. Like I said,
Mhm.
Google came in swinging last year with the 6 series with this whole AI stuff, and they just created a whole different race by themselves, literally.
Mm.
And nobody is doing it. And it's interesting because whether you like Google or not, right? We're gonna have Google's always the most talked about, whether it's positive or bad. They're the most talked about right now over
Facts.
anybody right now. And nobody out there is doing what they're doing regardless. And even some Apple users are like interested in the Pixel because of the features. And I don't blame them, because if just imagine, the company that you love just keeps making the same product over and over every year, and you're buying it, and then somebody comes out with this cool stuff like these flying cars and these robots that cook your dinner and stuff like that, and you're over here like, whoa, are y'all gonna make that? I mean, that's what's
Right.
happening with Google. Like, no joke, that's what Google is doing. That they're turning people heads, because Apple is consistent, and their consistency is what's killing them. And Samsung is just trying to play catch up with everybody, but they're doing a really good job though, right? So it's just
Mhm.
like, yeah, Nick, this year, 2023, I have to say that the most interesting thing is whatever is coming from Google itself. I mean, we've been dealing with Samsung and Apple for too long. All of us have in the tech community. We know what they're going to offer us at this point. But Google, each year, they're just trying to find something new to throw in our faces. And we're like, wow, we got clear calling this year. We had the not the Magic Eraser. What was it? Um, was it, yeah, Magic Eraser was this year? No, it was
Yeah.
last year.
Last
No,
year,
it's last
last
year.
year it was
We
6
got
Pro.
This
we
year
got
is
we got camouflage. We had the camouflage thing. We had the VPN.
yeah.
We had clear calling.
Hmm.
I feel like I'm missing something, but yeah, like every year Google is like trying to throw something new AI type feature in there at us, and I'm excited for that. I'm really excited, genuinely excited, and
Didn't the
um,
Pixels get portrait video too this year?
oh yeah, they did, and
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that year when Google is going to put that focus to the video. I don't really care. I just want them to do it to shut people up. That's the only reason why I want them to do it. I'm just sick of, yeah. I'm just look. I'm just sick of hearing Apple the best. Apple videos the best, right? And it's crazy because if you ask me, I'm going to say the same thing. But I'm tired. I'm tired of saying it, right? So I want
Yeah.
somebody, what I'm saying, like to step up now. Is Samsung Video just as good as Apple's? Sure, it is. But if I try to tell somebody it's the best, they're like, no, you're not. So I mean, I'm just gonna roll with the flow because that's
Facts,
just
yeah.
reality. Just tired of hearing it, man. I want
Yeah.
somebody to step up, man. That's all.
So, what do you guys put on the timetable of Android phones finally getting the camera API correct and being able to get that quality transferred to social media apps? When do you think that's finally going to happen? Do you think that's something that's going to happen soon, or do you think we'll be waiting another 5 years?
Well, as far as what
Um.
I know now, go ahead, Naseem.
Oh no, my fault. Now you can go ahead, bro.
All right. As far as what I've seen, that's Google is already doing that. I think, as far as I know, Instagram, Snapchat. I think I don't use these apps. I use Instagram, but I don't use these other ones. But Instagram, Snapchat, and I think TikTok all works with the API, and I think Samsung
Hmm.
has a few too as well. So it's
Yeah,
already happening, and I guess with the main apps that everyone use, I don't know what these kids are using these days. I don't use those apps. So go ahead, Naseem.
But yeah, no. Again, like tying into what I said with Google,
Hmm.
I feel like within 5 years, I think they will be pretty much. I think Google's going to push the envelope though, as far as like that,
I
because I feel like
agree. Google will
people are
be
going
the
to be like,
first
okay,
company. Yeah.
yeah, because again, like Google's heading in the right direction. They're changing everything that people want them to change. And I feel like,
Hmm.
you know, the Pixel is going to get to a point where it's so good that people will be like, oh, but, Snapchat or TikTok or whatever the case may be, whatever app. And I feel like Google will address that problem because one, they have like, they're very in tune with the community. And also,
Hmm.
too, like, again, like I said, they're doing anything to have that, the higher up. So, I feel like within 5 years, I think the Pixel is going to be the phone to really like get on that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely going to be Google like leading it just because of the size of their company. If anyone, I think Samsung does have the opportunity to like reach out to other like social media apps and be able to get that integration done. But I definitely think Google will be the first one for sure.
Yeah.
What companies do you see coming up to be like a solid fourth in terms of just smartphones and things? Because it's a clear 1, 2, 3 right now.
One plus. I mean, they're
I
at
would.
least here in the
You think so?
United States. Yeah, I mean, at least in the
Yeah.
United States because they're the only other ones that are sold in here. To be honest with you, so there's nobody
Motorola?
else.
Not even Motorola?
No, no,
No.
Nah,
nah.
I feel like Motorola is suffering from like that ancient effect, if that makes sense. Like, okay,
Yeah,
people like Motorola,
yeah.
like
Maybe a name change. Yeah, maybe a name
maybe a
change
name
would help that
change.
company. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think that OnePlus would be the third party, man. Because to be honest with you, when I was in like T-Mobile a couple of years ago, like I was in there. I think I was getting. I don't know what I was getting out of there. It doesn't matter. I seen couples over there looking at phones, and they walked around to the OnePlus section inside T-Mobile, and they wanted it because it was stupid cheap. Like they didn't even care about what phone they wanted. They just saw the price of the OnePlus and just wanted to get it. And I feel like this is why Samsung is winning users in the United States, anyways, when it comes to that, because their phones are cheap, and a lot of people are not buying these iPhones and these expensive phones and stuff like that. But there's a few people that are, but most people just walk in there and buy it. Oh, my wife said OnePlus got cute phones. She likes phones because they're cute. That's why her reason of buying them. Weird. But yeah, man. So I think that's like I think OnePlus would be the one after that or whatever. And you know, Direct Tech, he's going to hate me for saying this, but I think that Google is going to be a sleeping giant one day. He hate to say that because he loves Apple so much. But yeah, if Google keep up with this consistency that they're doing, years from now they will end up taking over a lot, if not taking over, because they're not only integrating their software into phones, but they're trying to get into cars and everything else. And imagine you're going to buy a car and they tell you that your phone works with your car and your tablet works with your car and your watch works with your car and your buds. It's going
Yeah.
to persuade a lot of people to buy this stuff. And then Google Assistant being so good, imagine a Google Assistant car. You're in the car and you're
Right.
just talking to it for everything. So
Yeah.
I see a bigger picture. I'm not saying any of this will come to light, but if it's tech, and you just got to trust the tech, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Shameless plug.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Especially with other devices too, like the
Mhm.
thermostat, everything they
Yeah,
have. Like
yeah,
I feel like they
yeah.
have the biggest ceiling as far as like
Yeah, I was
connectivity.
about
Mhm.
to say that they have the best potential
Yeah,
by far.
yes, they
Yeah, hundred
do.
percent.
They do, and
Also,
I
also
think.
too, my
Mhm.
fault, bro. But
Go
also
ahead.
too, I want to give a shout out to the Pixel Buds Pro. I worked out with
Mhm.
them for the first time yesterday, and they were phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
That's what's
yeah.
up.
Hey man,
Phenomenal.
they're underrated. They're underrated. I know a lot of people had bad experiences, and it's expected. But yeah, I love them too. I worked out with them myself a few times, so on the treadmill.
Hmm.
But they're good. But
Look. No,
uh,
listen. Also, too, I was surprised, bro, because I'm thinking like, all right, like,
mhm,
because for my AirPods Pro, like, they would slip out of
mhm,
my because basically I sweat a lot, so like,
mhm,
sweat would get in my ear and it would come out.
mhm.
But low
Yeah,
key, I was like, yo, like they stayed in there. I was like, oh, because you look at the design, I'm like, I don't think they're gonna stick in there,
yeah.
but they surprisingly stuck in there better than the AirPods Pro.
Yeah, if you got like
Yeah.
that ear where they fit in that groove of your ear up there, they're gonna stay in there. And I think that's where the AirPods fell at, because they kind of stick in, but you can do a lot of movement and then they will come out eventually. I know what you mean, because they do
Mm.
fall out my ear as well. So I prefer wingtips, like the A series for all buds, to be honest with you,
Yeah,
or
the
like
A
the Galaxy
series
or
is
the
the best fit
yeah.
I've ever gotten on any
Yeah,
earbuds
bro. I
by
could
far.
probably like go skydiving and that junk probably won't fall out. Like but
Yeah.
but yeah. But anyways, I was gonna say that I think that Google definitely has the most potential in this whole AI race with their products and stuff. And if they
Oh,
just start to
easily.
get their if they start getting their connection perfectly, because it's funny though, because when we talk about their ecosystem and what they have, for some reason I get it and I understand Apple is the standard for that, and everybody want everything to match what Apple do. If Apple takes their watch and unlocks it with their computer, then it's like uh, Google and Samsung's is not that good because they can't do that. But
Mm,
it's not like, I don't understand why somebody can't have a different approach on how they do their own ecosystem, right? Because
right.
what is the point of having the same exact features, exact features, and at that point you're just choosing which one you want to buy, as far as which one is cheaper. If Samsung
Mm.
can do this, just put it like this: if Samsung could do every single thing that Apple does, right? And
Mhm.
then just say on top of that, their fluidity with their products is just as smooth. I mean, one for one, right? Just imagine that. And
Mm.
then Samsung decides to charge everything $300 less or $500 less, depending on whatever the product is. Then instantly, it's an easy decision to just go get Samsung and stuff like that.
Mm.
But a lot of us, we want that experience of something different, right? I like my Pixel because of the experience I can't get on my iPhone or my Galaxy phone or my OnePlus phone or whatever. And that's what's
Mm.
important to a lot of us, is about the experience that is given. And just say that Apple does have like this seamless connection experience, but Samsung has their own way of connecting their devices. Maybe the next person like that better. Maybe that's their standard.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they
Yeah.
want. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be what Apple does. Because to be honest with you, I think that Apple does what they do is just to get you to spend more money on the next product. But Google
Yep.
and Samsung's, you can literally buy a different product and still have that same seamless experience, which is insanely crazy. So
Right.
I like buying into that. So a lot of people, when they see my Apple products, they see a lot of Google stuff on it. They be like, why don't you just get Android? I'm like, bro, I like Apple too, but this is what
Mm.
connects all of my devices together. Like these
Mhm.
apps connects everything, and I like that type of integration across the board with everything that I use. So I don't know, man. Like,
Yeah. Like Samsung and Apple has all of like the ecosystem hardware like down to a T, but nobody will
mhm,
ever
Yeah.
be as good as syncing things in
yeah,
terms of software as Google is, for
Hundred
sure.
yeah,
percent. I use Google Notes. I have so many Google apps, bro. I just be using them.
yeah,
Like because the thing is, of course, in the space that we're in, we have to use different devices, different companies. So it's just
Yeah.
better.
mhm,
Like even that's why I say the Fitbit app, because it's
mhm,
working with my iPhone. It's working with my Galaxy. It's working with my Pixel,
Right.
and
yeah,
the connectivity just works better.
Does the Fitbit
yeah.
app work with the Apple Watch too?
I believe actually no. So all right. Basically, I haven't been using my Apple Watch because all right. So I started using the Fitbit app. I just been using my Pixel Watch, bro. Because all right. So once the health journey came along, bro, I really just started getting way more into my watches. So like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm actually gonna test it out and get back to you, bro.
I got you. Say less.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's
Naseem,
so.
didn't you get the Ultra, the Apple Watch Ultra too?
Yeah, the app, I got rid of it. I have the
Mhm.
Series 8 right now.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay,
got rid of
okay.
mine. Yeah,
Oh,
it was cool, but I felt like the
mhm,
Series 8 was the screen was brighter, and I was
mhm.
like, bro, in my honest opinion, I was like, bro, this is the same damn watch. I was like, man, I could sell this, bro. I was like, man, I straight sold it.
Hey, look, man, if you
Hey,
leave it
I
to
don't blame you.
Twitter, bro, it's a whole different watch. I mean, it's I don't know,
I'm not
man. Like I stopped at
like
the Series 6, I think.
yeah, I feel like bro, I'm honestly like series 6 and up is really
Mhm,
the exact same experience. Like I was like, bro, like
Hmm.
I don't I'm not in the mountains. I don't
mhm.
you know I don't
You're not outside like
dive.
that.
I don't do any of that. So I'm like, man, what the hell is the point of me having this one? Because
Yeah.
Right.
it's like as like the more I use tech, I'm just like, man, like
Mhm.
it's really just basically whatever works best for me. Like instead of just having the latest and greatest.
Yeah, I have to
Yeah.
agree with you on that, man. Big time.
Yeah.
It's what works. It was works. That's why I made a post the other day. It was like the best phone is the one that's best for you. And that goes for everything, right? Because that's the reality. Like a lot of people want the product that they're using to be the best at everything, right? They want it so they can say that
Mm.
and hold that crown. But just because you feel that way, I don't feel that same way. I don't think like the Apple Watch is like the best watch on the market. In fact, I could probably use any watch and be fine with it because I'm basic. I'm a very basic person with these watches. I just don't.
Mm.
But the only problem with the Apple Watch with me is that I gotta have a round watch. I don't like square. If they made an Apple Watch that was round, I probably like that watch as well. I mean, I just don't really care for a lot of the functionality. I hate giving up.
Understandable.
I made a post
Mm.
and I was talking about fitness, getting a watch just for fitness, working out, and then I just put my Pixel watch back on and just walk around with it as a watch and notifications. I mean, that's really
Yeah.
that's it, man. That's how it works for me. I'm not big on things like this no more. So
Yeah. No.
yeah,
Yeah,
I feel
hundred
that's
you.
percent.
Yep.
yeah, that's fair. Let me look at this question. Did Google Voice to text get a little better with the G2 chip? I think it should have.
It
I've heard
did.
people say it does miss some
Mm.
punctuation and capitalization in words too sometimes when using voice to text.
It look. To be honest with you, man, it's the best out there in the market. Nothing's coming close to it, right? Is it
Yeah,
perfect?
right,
No,
right.
it's not perfect. I can honestly sit here and say that I use voice dictation all the time and voice to text all the time, and it will miss, but I can trust it more than any other voice assistant out here when it comes to that.
I
You know,
agree.
sometimes I don't even check it, but I still think that Google's in the right direction than anybody else right now for improving that. So I'm just gonna say that
Yeah.
it can miss.
I got you.
Hundred
So we
percent.
all agree that 2023 is going to be a big year for Google. This is
It,
definitely their year to prove. Do you
Oh,
think this is their year to
bro.
prove too?
Yo, every time
Yeah.
that Google get better, I'm sorry, Dusty. Let me say this one line
No,
real
no,
quick.
you good, bro. You good.
Every time Google get better, they get more haters. So it's going to be a great year for Google. It's going to be a great
Definitely
year.
gonna be a great year for Google.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, go ahead, Naseem.
And also too, another product that I am very excited about is probably the Galaxy Fold Z Fold 5.
Hmm.
Was it? It's the
Mm,
5, right? Yeah. So get because I all right. So the thing about me is like where like when it comes to tech, I'm just more excited in the things that have the most potential. Where like
okay.
the next decision you make could make or break you. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, like if say like the Z Fold 5 is the exact same thing as the Z Fold 4, I feel
Hmm.
like that could break them because they're like, okay, damn, like we want more advancements in the full community or in the full lineup. But also too, if they could make a crazy drastic change and it could either go well with people or it couldn't. So
It
I think
couldn't.
like as far as the Z Fold series, I say there are the two things Google and the Samsung Z Fold series is like I say they have like I'm not gonna say the biggest pressure, but like
Hmm.
I think these upcoming years are the years where it's like all right you make or you break.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have to agree because it's crazy though because you could say the same about Apple and maybe the USB Type C, but or the Zoom periscopes lenses, but because
Mm,
it's nothing new, a lot of us don't care. Besides the Apple community, right? The ones that do want it,
mm,
so it'll be a big breakthrough for them. But for us, on the people who use other devices, we're looking at a future that Apple is not even looking at right now.
yeah,
Because
seriously.
think about it. We're in a foldable realm right now, and Apple's still trying to figure out Zoom and USB Type C. And I'm not only trying to be funny, but but look, that's the reality, right? I mean, we're
No, really.
literally. I mean, think about it. We're really into this whole folding phone thing, and we move. This is where we all move into. Not. I'll say more tech enthusiasts and not Apple users, right? We're all like,
Mm,
foldables is the future. Is it the future? Is this and that to the third? And we're looking at laptops that fold and turn into desktops and stuff like that. And Apple is still
mm,
making the basic stuff and just adding more power to stuff. So
Yeah.
like
yeah.
being a tech lover, that other stuff excites me because when I watch movies like Minority Report and even Iron Man movies and seeing them doing all this stuff, this is where we're going to be at in Android world and Google and Samsung and
Hmm.
stuff. But then Apple is still going to be making slab phones with probably adding
We'll
finally
see.
getting like Siri that catch up with Google Assistant from 2020 or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
When are
but
iPhones gonna get split screen though?
I mean,
bro, bro, and,
that's the stuff I'm talking about, man. That's the stuff I'm
bro,
talking about. It's just,
and
it's just,
that's the saddest part though. Like the saddest
it
part is just
is.
like damn, like I'm mentioning Google, what Samsung's got going on.
Hmm.
I wouldn't App wouldn't even come to my mind when Galen asked that question. It didn't even come to
Yeah.
mind.
But
No,
it's,
like I'm like
it's
legit, it
true.
didn't come to mind. Like I'm like damn, the next iPhone. No, like it literally didn't like even
It
cross my
didn't
mind.
Probably not.
because
You're right.
yeah, because we know what to expect from them. And don't get me wrong, this is how Apple makes their money, their consistency, right? And their fan base and their loyalties that they have with their company, how much they're going to be relevant. But as far as advancement in technology, Apple is just not doing it. They're just so far behind when it comes to that. But they are focusing on the things that Android should be focused on is performance and power. But at the same
Mm,
time, like it's Apple got that locked down. So why not take chances? Why not move forward in advancements? You got the money. You know what I'm saying? Make some
Mhm.
mistakes.
yeah.
Make some stuff. I think Apple, if I could think, they haven't even made any mistakes besides of what the 5C. Am I missing something else that they sold and then it didn't work out
Yeah, it
and they
was a
got rid of
flop.
it?
Yeah, nothing really
Um,
was a flop. I think the mini
yeah.
series probably is the latest
I mean,
example.
maybe in a miniseries,
Yeah.
yeah, something like that. But they don't have that many flops. Google has a lot of flops. Samsung has a lot of flops because
Mm,
they were trying. You know what I'm saying? They were trying to innovate, and Apple just plays everything safe. So whatever they put out, they can always gain back money, and that's smart. I'm not
yeah.
denying them, but I don't care how smart that is. It don't do nothing for me because I want to see future stuff. He said air power. I don't think air power was ever made. That's the only thing I say. I think it was like announced, right? So it never hit the market. So that's why I didn't bring that up. But yeah, I get what you're
Mhm.
saying though. But yeah, I want to see
Yeah.
advancements in technology. I
Hmm.
want to get excited when I
Yeah,
see an advance. Go ahead.
my fault, bro. But no,
Mhm.
and to piggyback off what Dalon said, like again, like okay, yeah, we give them the pass of okay, yeah, like you have stable software, which is fine.
Mhm.
You have a consistent lineup,
It's
which is
good, yeah,
fine. You
yeah.
have
All
you're making
good.
money, which is fine. But why can't you just do like they have the money, the resources, that they can hire anyone they want. Why can't
Hmm.
you just have like do what Samsung did, and you could okay, you have your S series lineup, but then you also have
Mhm.
your foldables. You
Hmm.
you can have a lineup where if you want consistency, you can go here. But if you want, to try some, improvisation or
Yeah.
change the game, you have this lineup over here. So like what's stopping
Yeah,
them from doing that? Because we at the end of the day, like we still have to like I feel like we still have to call them out for like as far as just being too basic.
Hmm.
because they trying to
Like
save
it's
money and
too
use their older
yeah,
model phones to make the next SE. That's what they're trying to do. That's why they're
Yeah.
not
literally,
doing it.
bro.
Yeah, yo, bro, they literally kept the same chips in their phone. That is insanely crazy, right? And only Apple could
bro,
get away with that.
Bro, I
Only
was calling
Apple.
people out on that, bro. Like,
Bro.
bro, I was arguing with some dude on Twitter, bro. He was like, "Yo,"
Uh-huh.
he's like, "Yeah, people don't care, bro. What is that? What, bro? What are you talking about? You're still paying a crazy price. It's the same thing with a refresh rate. I don't care what nobody
Hmm.
says. If you're
Hmm.
paying over $800 for a phone,
Hmm.
there's certain basic requirements now. I think within displays,
Yeah,
within the
a hundred
battery.
Hmm.
percent.
Like, come
Yeah.
on, bro. Like, just because, all right, like they say, okay, people don't care about it. First of
Yeah,
all, I think a lot of people will care about it. People will know this difference. But even if they
hmm
don't care about it, they still deserve to have certain
they still
requirements to
deserve it.
spend this amount of money.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Like
I,
like that's like me buying a Ferrari. Okay,
hmm
what Ferraris have like what V12 engines,
I think it's like
V12,
V12.
I believe.
Yeah, somewhere around there. You know,
Uh,
they be having like sports
that's like me.
engines and them things.
Yeah, that's like me selling. That's like me giving you a Ferrari with a V10. Like
Hmm.
okay, you like the car is still the car is still fast, of course, but no,
Hmm.
you pay V12 money.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's true. And then you could get a cheaper phone on the market for 120 hertz refresh rate on it. So I get you, man. Like it's just the amount of people that give Apple the pass is insanely crazy. But it is what it is. Because if Google did something like that, I wouldn't give them a pass. But Google kind of smart because they're dropping they make sure the prices is right, so you can't complain. It's hard to complain about like the
Right.
the 3A. I mean, I said 3A. Oh my God, it's hard to complain about the 6A and all of that stuff, right? And then it's even hard to complain
Mhm.
about the 6 with 90 hertz. They gave you 90 hertz. They could have gave you 60 at that price, but they gave you 90 at what was it, 599? No, 499, right?
Yeah.
499. Yep,
Yeah.
499 with 90 hertz. So I don't know, man. Like I don't want to make this about Apple though, but like in general, I'm a tech person, and when there's new
Right.
tech out here, it excites me. I'm just going to put it like that. And Apple
Mhm.
have not been exciting me lately at all. And then you can say, well, at least you got stability, and all. I'm fine with all that. But I'm also fine with buying a prototype phone. I'm also
Mhm.
fine with buying a prototype teleporter if they sell it. I mean, I want to try this stuff, right? Like I'm
Oh
into
yeah.
technology. If our future is going to be anything like any of these movies one day with technology, I'm for it, bro. I'm all for it. And whatever company is pushing that, I'm all
Hmm.
for it. And if Apple stay where they are, yeah, I'll probably still have some of their products in their house, but am I going to enjoy it? No, I don't. I just use them. I don't enjoy them. I just use them because they work, right? And that's why I
Right.
use them.
Mhm.
But then also, I can say the same thing for my Pixel and all AI features. I enjoy that, and it works, and it has
Mhm.
advanced features that Apple do not have. So if you don't push forward, you're just going to stay where you are, and that's where Apple is doing right now. They're just staying in this bubble and just eating up all this money, and that's cool because it's cool for them. But for us
Yeah.
as a customer, I think it's pretty trash. It's pretty trash because they have the
Yeah.
money to do this.
Yeah. Apple's definitely the least
100%.
consumer friendly brand out there for sure. Um, you could tell it's like all about the numbers. Just every single decision they make every year, you could tell it's about more about the numbers than anything.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to have all this cool Samsung tech and this cool Google tech in an Apple device. No cap. Because
Hmm.
if
Seriously.
Apple is out here doing good software and doing good integration with their mobile department, I'm gonna just say mobile when it comes to
That's
ecosystem, their
true.
mobile
Yeah.
ecosystem,
Hmm.
having these features that Google offers and having these features that Samsung offers into a platform like iOS or something, or iPad OS, or even Mac OS would be so freaking dope, right? It would probably
Hmm.
make me not even use Google and Samsung if Apple actually gave me some interesting tech and with the software, that they have.
Mhm.
Because there is no
100%.
denying that Apple software is really good, but is no denying that it can be buggy just like everybody else's too. But overall, it's been good. It's been solid. I just want them to just step out of their bubble and innovate more and give us something exciting. I can't imagine being a hardcore iPhone user and literally get excited for two or three things that they add into the next iPhone. It's crazy to me that I could even get excited. I got so bored with Samsung at some point, and Samsung, y'all know Samsung throw everything in the book in their new phones. Samsung, boy, they quick to throw it. They give you everything. Like, you got this, you got this, you got this. But if I'm not getting excited about Samsung, I'm damn sure I'm not gonna get excited about Apple. But what Google did is something completely new. So I'm all for that
Mm,
right now. That's where I'm
Yeah.
at, because what they're doing is new and I like it. So I'm in for the run. That's all I gotta say about that, bro.
mhm.
Yeah. And with that, I think that's a great time to wrap up. Again, I appreciate everyone for joining today. Always have a dope conversation when Naseem's in the house. Uh, appreciate you for joining, bro. Appreciate your time. Had a lot of fun as
Listen, that
always.
listen,
Definitely will
thank y'all,
have you.
man. It was my fault, brother.
No
It
problem.
was a beautiful discussion, man. I really love y'all minds. I
Oh,
love y'all
definitely, man.
minds, y'all ideas. And I'm very excited to not only come back to the show, but like just to discuss, as far as like Pixel, as far as Samsung, and what they have to offer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, definitely gonna have you on again, bro. Appreciate you. Appreciate
Mm.
everyone for commenting and watching and liking this video. If you have, make sure to follow us on Twitter uh, at Delvine Digital, Galen's Gadgets, and Naseem Speach. And we'll get back with you guys next week. So I'm gonna wrap this up now. Thanks for watching.
All right. Appreciate
All
everyone.
right, you guys. All right.